sustainability aspect. How do you entirely make this whole mission really happen in terms of really creating value out of that? One of the major initiatives that Government of India has taken is basically the Rule 2016, which is mentioning a major changes in the past design. If you go back to 2014, pre-2014, there was nothing like this for the recyclable industry. The recyclable industry was facing a huge crisis in terms of how do you really convert a most man-made thing into a certain wealth. How do you convert that? It was a major challenge. One of the things that has come in is this rule. Which briefly I can tell you, but you can go into the site. What this rule has done, it has again adopted a very 360-degree approach to conversion or recycling of waste matter. This is a major problem. You see in a hotel, for example, a hotel will have over 500 kilos of waste, which they will not know exactly what to do about. A hospital will have more than over 1 ton of waste, which they will not know exactly what to do about. So what do you do exactly with this waste? How do you exactly convert that waste into a resource and make it more sustainable? Now, if you look at the whole concept, if you take a city, because I'm talking slightly, which is a divergent topic, but it is very relevant to the extractive industry too. If you take a city like Allahabad, for example. Now, Allahabad will have a total waste of around 700 tons, which has to be collected every day by more than 400 people and more than 1,000 labor. Each house, that is almost 2,75,000 households, has to give that waste to the guy. That ultimately has to be taken to a point. Then that point, from a particular point which is called a transfer station or Dhalauga, you take that waste to the plant. And what do you do after that? Either you throw it and you create a landfill. And if you create a landfill, what happens? You create huge amount of space across the horizon. How much space you're creating? In the past 20 years, we have created almost space of that landfill is almost how much? 2 cities like Bangalore. 2 cities or like Bangalore can be actually accumulated in a landfill. Now that is a very, very, very big problem today. You saw in Ghazipur, we had a death of about 5 or 6 labor. What did happen? That's a huge landfill. And that landfill is a pure man-made landfill, totally left alone, and it keeps accumulating year by year, year by year, year by year. 2002 was the last point where it should have been completely, covered. But what did happen? Now almost 16 years have passed, still that landfill keeps going on filling up. What will happen then to sustainability? Tell me. If that landfill is sitting on a volcano actually, believe me, you're sitting on methane, propane, butane, sitting on all the types of gas. It's all gas. And it's like a bomb, actual bomb, believe me. It's a human bomb. A landfill is a human bomb, I call it. Because you are actually having every moment a gas coming out of it. Every moment. I just mentioned 3. There are almost 17 types of gas which comes out of a landfill. This is a man, what I was talking about, undivine, undemonic. This is the type of thing which I was talking about, which is a huge problem for sustainability. Now, what has happened is various corporates like Coal India, NTPC, and these companies have taken up these issues, including ILFS, trying to cover that major part of, which is a major part of waste, which needs to be converted so that it can be used as a proper resource. And what do you do? How do you convert that? You convert it through a process called biomethanization, which is a process where you convert a old waste into a substance of gold, or a substance like gas, which can be again reused. That is called biomethanization. This whole conversion happens through a process. And it can actually, there are companies who are now helping this whole thing, like Coal India and NTPC. They are trying to actually put in their CSR muscles into this, a little bit of CSR muscles. But if really this problem has to be solved, a lot of CSR muscle has to be actually coming in. Because each city will have this type of problem, which will be a problem which, unless we do biomining in that, we will not be able to actually come to a point where we can really convert that into a resource or even help the human settlement. Because ultimately, if the methane gas starts leaking in terms of a really solid leak, a whole mass of settlement, maybe if you had Ghazipur, then the whole area, that whole catchment area can be just, they can just come off. They can just come off with no time. So I was just trying to bring in this part of subject matter, and so I will give you. I think I'm taking too much time. It seems. Yeah. Okay. The last part of it is basically how do we resolve this problem, and how do we really take it into a point where it can, so the government involvement has to be heavy. It has to be actually bringing more funds into it, the financial mechanism to actually bring out this whole biomining stuff has to be really good. Thanks a lot for your listening to me.